Welcome to one of the most beautiful baseball facilities in all the country. Siemens Stadium, Okotoks, the home of the Dawgs, and their home opener as they battle the Lethbridge Bulls tonight on Shaw Television. It's our second broadcast of the Western Major Baseball League. It's not the most clement night for baseball here in the Rockies, but if you turn back the clock 24 hours ago, Cam Moon, we wondered if we were going to play this game.
Hey, it's going to be a little bit wet out there in the outfield, and the wind is really blowing in from left. It may make things a bit tough for the outfielders.
It was a deluge in this park, and the grounds crew has done just a wonderful job to get the field in good playing condition. It is the home opener for the Okotoks Dawgs. For the Lethbridge Bulls, they started the season exceptionally well, 2-0 after a doubleheader sweep Saturday in Edmonton, but fell on kind of hard times, losing twice to a very good Medicine Hat team the last couple of days.
Yeah, they were outscored 13-4 in those two games against Medicine Hat. Hey, this Lethbridge team still short on players. In fact, they had a few land in Calgary this afternoon, so they're a little short-handed pitching and all the way around, but I think they're going to be fine. Sure, they've made 9 errors so far, but they're looking to tighten that all up and are looking for a great performance here tonight.
As he was on Friday night in Medicine Hat, Dave Dawson is with us, and he caught up with a fourth-year manager of the Lethbridge Bulls, Scott Rhodes.
All right, here with head coach of the Lethbridge Bulls, Scott Rhodes. Scott, how important is it for your team to come out with a win tonight heading into the home opener this weekend?
Well, we're 2-2 right now, so we'd like to be a little bit above 500 as we go. Anytime you play a team like Okotoks, you want to play them tough, and if you get the victory while you're at their yard, then you got to be pretty happy about it. So I would say every game and everything would probably have the same importance. I mean, we're not looking at playoffs yet as of now, but I mean, you want some momentum going into our home opener. So it'd be nice to take one off these boys.
All right, thank you very much. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
The Okotoks Dawgs are 2-1 after knocking off Swift Current on Sunday in Swift Current 6-2. We saw a great season opener for them on this network on Friday. The come from behind, late inning dramatics, a 6-5 triumph over Medicine Hat, where Zach Assman played a very large role.
Well, what a great game Zach Assman had for the Okotoks Dawgs in the 7th inning. A double that scored a run, huge hit there for Assman, and that wasn't enough. I mean, he took it up another notch in the 9th, down by 1, a 2-run shot that held up as the game winner. And the product of Northern Kentucky University with a big night for the Okotoks Dawgs.
We can only hope for another game just like the one we witnessed on Friday. And you know what? We just might have it. Plenty more to come. An exciting night where they expect a sellout crowd in this beautiful ballpark. Plenty of pre-game festivities in the first pitch. On its way from Okotoks, this is the Western Major Baseball League on Shaw Television. Sunny and cool on a Wednesday night in Okotoks, Alberta, getting set for the start of the home opener for the Okotoks Dawgs. The Dawgs, Cam Moon, 4-time Western Major Baseball League champions. They were champions out of this great ballpark in 07, 08, and 09, and 1 year ago lost in the league championship series to the Regina Red Sox. And the Red Sox are off to quite a beginning. They're 6-0 so far this season after another triumph one night ago. The visiting team is the Lethbridge Bulls, and these are West Division rivals, and the Bulls come in at 2-2, while the Dawgs have won 2 of their first 3 and will have a number of additions in their lineup as opposed to what we witnessed in Medicine Hat when they won that ball game over the Mavericks on Friday night. Plenty of pregame festivities as promised. Field level is one of the key members of the organizations of the Dawgs, Mr. William Gardner.
I mentioned a few moments ago that baseball is looking to Okotoks and they like what they see, both from our collegiate and our youth program. You've no doubt heard the exciting news that we in fact have had 2 players from our organization this season drafted by professional baseball. Both of these young men will forever be able to say, I played professional baseball. And it was due to the support of this wonderful program and our wonderful community. Drafted today in the 38th round by the Milwaukee Brewers, Mr. Chris Shaw from our J-Dawgs program. And this young man has had quite a 24 hours. Just today, he was recognized as the Junior College All-American Player of the Year. And yesterday, he received a phone call from the San Francisco Giants, selecting him in the 14th round. He's from our very own Dawgs program. His baseball started here. Let's put it together for Tyler Hollick. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler, you have been a wonderful representative of this organization and a wonderful representative of this sport. We want to wish you all the very best as you make some very serious decisions in the next few days. Congratulations on your selection. I think he's going to look wonderful in a Giants uniform, don't you? Well, as I said, baseball is looking to Okotoks, and frankly, they're looking to this organization to fulfill rosters on national and provincial teams. We not only want to make these men better athletes, but we want to make them better men and better citizens. To date, well over 40 players from the Dawgs organization have been drafted by Major League Baseball. It is not our singular focus, nor is it our singular measure of success. The collegiate team, they tend to get all the accolades and the recognition throughout the summer, but all that they do and all the ways you support them make our collegiate and youth program possible. We have a wonderful partnership and association with Holy Trinity Academy, and leading players at the bantam and midget levels are coming out of this community and across our nation to participate in the Junior Dawgs program. Those players have become the top graduates that move into Canadian and U.S. college programs, and the Okotoks Dawgs Academy is considered the top training academy for youth baseball in all of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'd like you to give yourselves a round of applause. You have a very, very big part in that, and we want to say thank you very much for your support. It is now my delight and privilege to introduce the coaching staff, and we love to do this, and I know you love to see them come out on the field. I'm going to introduce every coach that's involved with the collegiate program as well as our J-Dawgs program, and following that, all of the J-Dawgs will also be introduced. I'm going to ask you to hold your applause for the coaches until they've all assembled on the field, and then we're going to welcome them in a very, very big way. He is the head coach of our 2012 collegiate team, drafted by the New York Mets after a stunning baseball career at the University of Washington. A 10-year scouting career with the Brewers from Bellingham, Washington, Brandon Newell. Go ahead, I know you want to do it. Let's clap for him. From Peru State in Nebraska, he's a former J-Dawgs coach and now the pitching coach of our 2012 Collegiate Dawgs. Welcome, Andy Davis. From Dallas, Texas, former coach with Team Alberta, he now calls this wonderful community home, Mr. Pablo Forno, assistant coach, College Dawgs. A former Dawg after a standout career at Cal Berkeley. He was a WMBL All-Star catcher. He's the head coach of the Dawgs Black Academy team, Brett Thomas. The hitting coach and head coach of the Bantam White had an impressive college baseball background, played at Kentucky Wesleyan, and has been the guest coach at many collegiate and many top baseball programs across the United States. From Oroville, California, Alan Cox. This young man was a former Dog back in our high school days. He's an outstanding young man and an outstanding player. Following a very successful baseball career, has gone on to coach at TRU University in Kamloops. Please welcome Frank Ingram. With over 35 years of baseball experience at all levels, collegiate, professional, high school, national, and senior national teams, we are delighted to welcome Mr. David Robb from our Bantam program. He's the pitching coordinator of the J-Dawgs. He was in fact the first drafted J-Dawgs player in history. He was drafted out of high school by the New York Mets and played at the AAA level. Please welcome Tanner Osberg. Plays collegiate baseball in California and is coached with Team Alberta. He's the head coach of the Bantam Red team, Mr. Scott Smith. This gentleman played collegiately with the Wildcats at the University of Kentucky. Then he joined Coach Cox at Kentucky Wesleyan. He'll be an assistant coach with our Bantam team. Please welcome Tim Wimsatt. He played at TRU under Coach Chadwick, and he serves now as an assistant coach at TRU. He'll be assisting with our Midget Red team. Please welcome Tyre Lowy. He came from New Brunswick before joining our J-Dawgs Academy in his senior year. He will be a great asset to our Bantam teams in 2012. All the way from New Brunswick, Brady Oxford. We'd like to recognize the strength and conditioning as well as a pitching coach and coordinator. He was drafted by the Giants out of high school, played his college baseball at Washington State and Niagara. Joins us tonight in the Dog Pound Lounge. A round of applause for Matt Arcandia. And now it's my delight to introduce the managing director of these very Okotoks Dawgs. Ladies and gentlemen, and not enough can be said for the vision, the passion for this sport, and the leadership that he's provided. He's been recognized among the top, most influential in all of baseball, in all of Canada, and he's going to introduce each one of our J-Dawgs. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Arcandia.
Starting with the midget black team, these are the defending Alberta champions and defending Canadian silver medalists. Here's the team. I'll introduce them all at once. Sean Anderson, Noel Benish, Morgan Brown, Wiley Cunningham, Lane Curry, Jared Frew, John Harpstead, Josh Hillis, Eric Call, Alejo Lopez, Eric Maurer, Braden Monroe, Blake Patterson, Brendan Rose, Eduardo Sanchez.
Cam, the focus is so much on what they refer to as the collegiate team. For our purposes and our viewers' purposes, the team that plays annually in the Western Major Baseball League. And by the way, we're moments away from the Okotoks Dawgs home opener against the Lethbridge Bulls, their first of many meetings, the two West Division teams this season, and they'll meet here again tomorrow. But make no mistake, the facilities here are spectacular, and the program that coincides all the different teams starting at the Bantam age and then moving up to the midget age, and then eventually you try and succeed to play on the big team.
Yeah, there's 3 teams at the midget level. The Okotoks, red, white, and black, all play AAA midget and Baseball Alberta in the Northwest League. But they also have a couple of Bantam teams that play in the AAA midget, the Performance League in Baseball Alberta as well. And especially at the midget level, you're seeing players come from not only across Alberta, but there's players from across Canada that are part of the Dawgs program and go to school here, attend high school, and live with billets here in Okotoks.
Brandon Newell is the manager of the Okotoks Dawgs, and he echoes those sentiments as he caught up to talk about the entire program with our Dave Dawson.
All right, here with Okotoks Dawgs head coach Brandon Newell. Brandon, what does it mean for the junior Dawgs to be part of the opening ceremonies and part of the organization?
Yeah, you know, we take a lot of pride in that in the Dawgs Academy. these kids aspire to play on this field in front of this great crowd. Every single year when we bring in those Bantam kids, they peek their head out that door and go, you know, it's not far away for me playing in front of those kids. So to bring out all of our academy kids, recognize them for all the great things they've done, especially the last couple years, playing in 2 national championship games last year at the Bantam and the midget level. It's great to recognize those kids and just keep it in that kind of glimmering shot in their eye for hopefully one day becoming a big dog.
Do you remember what that was like when you were growing up? Did you have the opportunity to experience something like this?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. My dad played for the Atlanta Braves growing up, so I was in spring training in West Palm Beach, Florida, getting pine cones thrown to me by guys like Dale Murphy. So, you know, I know exactly what these guys are going through. Everyone's got little butterflies in their stomach today, and the sun's out and the field's in great shape, and we can't wait to get this thing going tonight.
Appreciate that, Brandon. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Brandon Newell with a great pedigree. He talked about his father who played for the Atlanta Braves, and what a great indoctrination to the game. He was a college player at the University of Washington and an all-star there, and Brandon Newell is back for a second straight year as the manager of the Dawgs, and he led them to the league final. And there's no question, when you look around this unbelievable facility, how successful they've been. They've built a brand new midget diamond. They're working on a brand new Bantam diamond that, again, are state of the art. How would you not want to come to Okotoks and be part of this if you're a young player, not only in southern Alberta, but as you referred to, Cam, in our country, period?
Yeah, and that really helps the Dawgs when it comes to recruiting, not only at the collegiate level, players from across the states and from Western Canada that want to come play here, but also at the junior Dawgs level. And they've got the 4 diamonds going here now, although the second Bantam one's not quite completed, but an amazing job they've done here with all these fields.
Time to meet the Lethbridge Bulls and their lineup heading into this season home opener for the Dawgs.
Jesse Sawyer, the first baseman, number 8, Jeremy Fannin. The designated hitter, number 12, Dale Anderson. The second baseman, number 7, Joey Underwood. The center fielder, number 15, Breton Guthrow. The shortstop, number 2, Kim Barthel. And tonight's starting pitcher, number 27, Chris Walker. Also playing tonight, number 35, Jeremy Lawrence. Number 1, Zach Mayo. Number 31, Jeremy Philippek. Number 4, Ridge Gonsolin. Number 33, Travis Steinke. Number 9, Dan Gleason. Number 20, Mitch Shafsma. Number 19, Tyson Ford. Number 26, Archie Davis. Number 28, Brody McDonald. And number 10, Alex Regan. The Lethbridge Bulls.
Let's introduce to this wonderful crowd at Siemens Stadium the 2012 Okotoks Dawgs.
You've met the coaches, playing out of Lindsey Wilson College in Kentucky, a native of Whitesville, Kentucky, number 35, Ryan Rogers. From Parkland Junior College in Illinois, Lafayette, Indiana, number 31, Brett Hahn. From the Vancouver Island Mariners in Victoria, British Columbia, number 29, Connor Russell. From the University of British Columbia and the hometown of Campbell River, British Columbia, number 34, Matt Thornton. Also from the University of British Columbia, a native of Coquitlam, British Columbia, number 30, Matt Trimble. Also from the University of British Columbia, a native of North Vancouver, BC, number 13, Alex Graham. From Chandler Gilbert Community College in Arizona, a native of Gilbert, Arizona, number 11, Hunter Hurt. From Ohio State University in Ohio, and a native of Bellefontaine, Ohio, the number 21, Paul Gay. Attending Rend Lake Junior College in Kentucky and a native of Owensboro, Kentucky, number 20, Dalton Mellett. From Chandler Gilbert Community College in Arizona, a native of Phoenix, Arizona, number 24, Trent Wilson. Attending the University of British Columbia, from Ladysmith, BC, number 36, Danny Britton Foster. Playing out of Douglas Community College in British Columbia, a native of Richmond, BC, number 16, Sean Caligari. Playing out of Campbellsville University in Kentucky, a native of Strathmore, Alberta, number 5, Rylan Chin. Playing out of the Washington State University in Washington, a native of Renton, Washington, number 26, Stetson Olson. A native of Bruton Parker College in Georgia, a native of New York, New York. Please welcome number 22, John Apostolo. Playing out of Xavier University in Ohio, a native of Indianapolis, Indiana, number 9, Trey Aberhart. Playing out of the University of British Columbia, a native of Vancouver, British Columbia, number 12, Kevin Byro. From Canisius College in New York, a native of Welland, Ontario, please welcome number 17, Drew Pettit. From Texas A&M International University in Texas, a native of Surrey, BC, please welcome number 23, Austin Boros. From the University of British Columbia and the hometown of Surrey, BC, please welcome number 27, Jared Bartnick. From North Kentucky, Kentucky, a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, please welcome number 2, Zach Asman. From Chandler Gilbert Community College in Arizona, and native of Chandler, Arizona, please welcome number 15, Andrew Nist. From the University of British Columbia, a native of Calgary, Alberta, please welcome number 14, James Stewart. From the University of Calgary, a native of Calgary, Alberta, please welcome number 32, Brendan Ethier. Playing out of Oklahoma City University, a native of Moncton, New Brunswick, please welcome number 3, Adam Clark. From Thompson River University, a native of Calgary, Alberta, please welcome number 4, Brendan Reed. From Northeastern Junior College, a native of Okotoks, Alberta, please welcome number 7, Jordan Procession. From Chandler Gilbert Community College, a native of Calgary, Alberta, please welcome number 6, Tyler Hollick.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2000, we've got a gentleman on the side. Come on over here. Oh my, Clark. Let's do it this way. Wearing number 18 from
Montreal.
Plays.
Niagara University.
And plays position.
Shortstop.
Please welcome
Thomas Rodriguez.
All right. We now have the 2012 Okotoks Dawgs. Gentlemen, we wish you well. Play with passion. Play as well as you possibly can. And always remember that you play in the most wonderful facility in front of the best fans in all of baseball. When we gather like this, you've heard me say it many times, that we come together as a family. And sadly, tonight we have some family business that we need to talk about. I'm going to ask all of the players on the field if they could remove their caps for a moment. This past season, our family experienced loss, and the Lethbridge Bulls family experienced loss as well. The news that came out of Washington State was devastating to our organization, and we were deeply saddened by the news that Cam Christian had tragically passed away. You'll remember him well, and you'll remember him fondly, as do we. A teammate, a friend, and forever a dog, and we recall Cam tonight. Along with Justin Cardinal and Doc Seaman, they leave a tremendous legacy for all of us, but they also leave an empty seat in the stadium, and we will be remiss if we don't remember them. And it's the first time since the tragedy that was unspeakable that took place last December that we've been with our good friends from the Lethbridge Bulls. The loss of Tanner Creswell and Mitch McLean can never be explained with words, nor can words ever fully express our thoughts tonight. To the Bulls organization, we want you to know that we share your sorrow and we share your sense of loss, as does all of baseball. But we are also moved and deeply touched by the courage and grace your organization has shown and how you have honored your teammates by bringing triumph from tragedy. To the Lethbridge Bulls, we know you've dedicated this season to the memory of your teammates, and our family to yours, we wish you our sincere best in every way this season. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and let's join Kaylee Hamilton as she leads us in our national anthem.
Canada, our home and native land, true patron love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
As the players are leaving the field, we have one final piece of business. It is time for our ceremonial first pitch. We have two players from the Dawgs organization that are going to catch the honorable first pitches tonight. Please welcome the mayor of our community, a dear friend, Mayor Bill, representing the town of Okotoks. And our Qualico kid, first kid pitch. Let's welcome Pearson to the mound tonight. Gentlemen, start our season. It's your pitch. All right, Pearson. And now Mayor Bill. And it's time. It's finally here. Let's play ball. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Clark, how about we introduce the starting lineup of tonight's Okotoks Dawgs?
Tonight's leadoff batter, the
Great to have you with us on Shaw Television, our second of 3 Western Major Baseball League regular season broadcasts from Southern Alberta this month. Here are the umpires who will work the game behind the plate. Lyle Gagne, Matt Payne at first. Mike Whiteley will man the second base umpiring position, and at third, Dave Vicente. The Dawgs, Cam Moon, are 2-1, and a bit of a surprising starting pitcher for this game. They had hoped to go with one of the best pitchers in all the Western Major Baseball League a year ago in left-hander Ryan Rogers. Instead, because of a eligibility scenario that's going on right now with the league, they'll go with a young man from North Vancouver named Alex Graham, who we saw for an inning in the season opener and the win in Medicine Hat on Friday night.
And head coach Brandon Newell is expecting that Alex Graham's going to throw strikes today and throw lots of them. He's got 3 that he can throw for strikes, a fastball, curve, and a change. He can touch 85 with the fastball, and he didn't find out until this afternoon that he was starting this game because of the snafu with eligibility for Rogers.
As they introduce the starting defensive lineup, we can take this time to show you how things will work out as far as the batting lineup for the visiting Lethbridge Bulls, coming off a couple of back-to-back setbacks in Medicine Hat to a very good Mavericks team. Zach Rhodes, one of the best hitters in the league, will lead it off. He has 8 hits already this season.
And Joel Blake is having a great start to the season as well, hitting .600 so far through 4 games. Blake's going to be behind the plate tonight, and expect him to be a real force when the ball's being thrown to him.
Jesse Sawyer set a Western Major Baseball League record a season ago with 18 home runs. However, with a wind blowing in very hard tonight from left field, and he does have a home run already this season, that number might get tested in terms of trying to add to it. And here is the North Vancouver product, a freshman at the University of British Columbia this past spring, in Alex Graham. He has faced 4 batters so far. Not only through opening night, did throw a third of an inning in a setback, a loss to Medicine Hat on Saturday night. And he gets the call from Brandon Newell in this home opener.
And he'll show some poise on the mound. Even though he just finished his freshman year at college, he's not a stranger to being put in situations of playing in front of big crowds and what have you, and he looks like he's ready to go tonight.
And here's the starting defense around him. Tyler Hollick, he's a big story. He was just drafted by the San Francisco Giants, the left fielder, yesterday in the 14th round. The hero of Friday night, Zach Aspin in center field, Jared Bartnick, another product of the UBC Thunderbirds, and right around the diamond, Apostolo, Thomas Rodriguez, Strathmore, Alberta product Ryland Chin, and making his Western Major Baseball League debut out of Washington State University is Stetson Olson at first. Jordan Procession, who we saw at first base on Friday against Medicine Hat, he's from Calgary. The regular everyday starting catcher for the most part, makes his second appearance of 4 games behind the plate. 2-1 the record for the Okotoks Dawgs. 2-2 are the Lethbridge Bulls. These 2 teams collided in a first-round playoff matchup a season ago, with the Bulls losing to the Dawgs in 4 games. Okotoks 3-1 series winners, as Zach Rhodes will lead it off for the Bulls in the top of the first.
You were at the game last night in Medicine Hat. Lethbridge was there, and you're saying that this Lethbridge team has a good hitting lineup.
A very good hitting lineup, and here's a gentleman off to a great start. 8 hits already is Zach Rhodes, and he takes the first pitch down and away for ball 1 from Alex Graham.
Well, Rhodes is a hit for average kind of guy, a consistent hitter that finds ways to get on base.
471 is the average for Rhodes. He's 8 for 17 on the year. 2 for 4 in the 6-3 setback last night in Medicine Hat to the Mavericks. He had a good whack at that and fouled it straight back as the count runs to 1-2.
Leading the Bulls right now with 6 RBIs.
has hit safely in all 4 and now make it all 5 games that the Bulls have competed in as he pulls that pitch off Alex Graham into right field for a leadoff base hit.
Well, quick bat by Rhodes. Able to lean into that. And he's noted as a consistent hitter, and you can see why.
Rhodes graduating from South Dakota State University, where he batted .258 this season. This brings to the plate Corey Wood. Wood hails from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and he was a freshman at Prairie Baseball Academy, a very, very strong school who ended up winning the Canadian Baseball Conference this spring.
The PBA in Lethbridge is a baseball program that has players that are either going to the University of Lethbridge or to Lethbridge College. So either or, but all come together to play baseball. They got a senior varsity and a junior varsity team there.
And Wood squares around a bunt. It gives Procession a little bit of difficulty, and they'll check to see if he did indeed square around a bunt and leave the bat in the strike zone, but the third base umpire says no. Rhodes aboard with a leadoff single here in the top of the first. Lethbridge fell behind in Medicine Hat one night ago, 5-0 after 1, and it was definitely an uphill battle from there as once again Graham throws over to keep the leadoff batter Rhodes close. Wood has hits in both games that he's played in so far this season. And that on one hop might be 2. It is 6-4-3 and a heads-up play by the shortstop Thomas Rodriguez to wait for that ball to get to him and play it on the short hop.
And Zach Rhodes, the player from Lethbridge on first base, was in no man's land. And he didn't know if that ball was going to get down, didn't want to get doubled off on the line drive. So he had no opportunity, and good quick hands there by Rodriguez over to Chin to complete the double play.
Joel Blake, and those numbers are staggering, batting .600. 9 for 15 on the season. Is the product of Langley, British Columbia. In his last 3 games, Cam, all of the multi-hit affairs for Blake, who went 3 for 4 in the game in Medicine Hat. A 2-hopper to Rodriguez, a tough play, and Olsen can't come up with a short hop at first base as Blake is on at first.
That's a tough play for Rodriguez. That was pretty deep in the hole, and it's a long throw. Olsen unable to come up with a short hop, but it was a solidly stroked ball, but deep in the hole. I'm going to score that a hit.
10th hit of the season for Blake. Jesse Sawyer, dangerous. 18 home runs. A single season record, and this is just foul as he goes the other way with the first pitch from Graham.
Just about dropped that one in. That would have been a multi-base hit. All-star last year for Jesse Sawyer in the WMBL.
The MVP, in fact.
Exactly.
From Calgary, Alberta. Not only did he launch the ball out of the park 18 times, he led the league in runs batted in with 50.
Played at PBA before he went to South Dakota State.
Off to a bit of a slow start through 4 games with a 143 batting average. Blake on an infield single with 2 out here in the top of the first at first base, as Sawyer didn't necessarily like that high breaking ball for strike 2.
It looked a little off. He might have an argument there.
Here's the 1-2 from Graham. Another breaking ball. Rodriguez back and makes the play to end the top of the first. A double play helps the Dawgs out of what could have been an early jam. Okotoks to bat when we return for the first time here from Siemens Stadium, the Western Major Baseball League on Shaw. Back for the bottom of the first, the home opener for the Okotoks Dawgs, who face Chris Walker. Walker makes his first start of the year. He is a pitcher who toils his trade collegiately at Missouri Baptist State and a product of Lake Havasu, Arizona. Lake Havasu is a little lake community just outside of Phoenix.
He's just going to make spot starts this season. Likely to be a bullpen guy, but tonight gets the ball.
And has worked one inning in a victory in Edmonton on the weekend. And here's the order that he'll face. Tyler Hollick to lead things off. Chen, Asman, Procession, Apostolo, Stetson Olson, Jared Bartnick, another product of the University of British Columbia. Austin Voros, in his third year as a Dog, will act as the designated hitter in the contest tonight. And Hollick to lead it off. 375, just drafted yesterday in the Major League Baseball draft by the San Francisco Giants, and already plenty of talk that he is getting close to signing a deal. And you know what that means, Cam? We might be watching the last of Dawgs' product because he was groomed in the system. His last appearance could be this very game in Okotoks.
Yeah, players that sign pro contracts are no longer eligible to play in the Western Major Baseball League.
Walker's fastball is in for a strike to even the count at, or make it 0-2, as Walker gets ahead early of Hollick. Outside, 1-2 the count on the Calgary product, who was the top Canadian and Rookie of the Year a season ago in the Western Major Baseball League with a .407 batting average. And he's added to his hit totals as he grounds that past the second baseman, Joey Underwood, and just like the Bulls, the leadoff man at first base with a single for Okotoks.
He had to go down and get it. Found a spot in the defense where he could get it through. As we take a look at the defense of the Lethbridge Bulls here tonight. Zach Rhodes in left, Brenton Guthrow in center, Corey Wood in right, Jesse Sawyer at third, Kim Bartel at short, Joey Underwood at second, and Jeremy Fagnan at first base. Joel Blake will be behind the plate.
Strathmore's Rylan Chin, the second baseman tonight. The second batter in the lineup for Okotoks. He has hit safely in his last 2 games.
Hollick has 5 stolen bases already this season. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go.
Brandon Newell spoke so glowingly when we caught up to him earlier today about the baseball IQ of Tyler Hollick and his ability to not only have great speed, but his ability to read counts and pitchers. Up the middle for Chin, and another base hit, as Hollick and Chin with back-to-back hits to start this bottom half of the first inning. And Chin now has hit safely in 3 straight games for the Dawgs.
Just a couple of ground balls that have found their way through. Just legitimate base hits.
Brings to the plate the center fielder, Zach Asman. Off the top of the show tonight, in case you just joined us, Asman with a dramatic 2-run home run in the top of the 9th to give the Dawgs a 6-5 victory on Friday night in a contest we also showed right here on Shaw Television. Since a great opening night, however, he's gone 0 for 7 in his last 2 games. The Cincinnati, Ohio product to the shortstop, and an error made by Kim Bartel. And the bases are loaded in the bottom of the first for the Okotoks Dawgs. And in just his second night back for the Bulls, Bartel at shortstop has his 3rd error.
Well, with the ball hit to Bartel's right, his only play is to third base. And he had to do it quick. Unfortunately, trying to make that transfer from the glove to the throwing hand just got away from him. It didn't go in the dugout, so the runners don't advance that extra base.
Loads the bases for Jordan Procession. Procession with a 3-run homer that opened the game up in a 6-2 triumph in Swift Current for the Dawgs over the Swift Current Indians on Sunday night. Procession from Calgary.
He's a product of the Dawgs Academy here, played for the junior Dawgs.
Fouls that towards the Okotoks dugout. The Dawgs on the first base side here at lovely Siemens Stadium, and threatening to strike early. Base hits from Hollick and Chin, and Asman at first base would have been regardless. Almost could have been a base hit. As a matter of fact, scored that way, I believe, and there's a base hit. Hollick will score, and they'll hold Chin. And Asman enjoys his games on Shaw Television. His 4th RBI of the season. All of them have come on this network.
Well, Jordan Procession just able to get a ball right a little low in the zone, but still able to smack that into right field. And this Okotoks Dawgs team has just been clinical so far in their ability to get that ball into play.
Base is still loaded for power hitting John Apostolo. Apostolo hits that hard, and it's in the gap, and it'll roll all the way to the wall, and it'll clear the bases. Chin scores. Asman scores, and no, they'll hold Procession. I thought he was going to get the wave. He did not get the wave.
No, he did not get the wave. I thought he was going to get the wave, too. Apostolo, just first pitch, and that thing looked like it was about belt high right down the middle. Exactly what he was hoping for.
A 2 RBI double for John Apostolo, who drove in 25 runs a season ago as a member of the Edmonton Prospects. Playing this season in Okotoks, and a newcomer that Brandon Newell was so delighted to have. As Scott Rhodes, the manager in his 4th season with the Lethbridge Bulls, out to chat with Chris Walker, and it's been a tough bottom half of the inning, as it was a night ago in Medicine Hat for the Bulls when they gave up 5 runs to the Mavericks.
Well, a couple of ground ball with eyes. You know, the first 2 were just ground balls that were to the holes, and the base hits for sure, but not extremely well hit. And then you get the error on the third base, on the third batter when Asman was up. That makes it just a little bit harder. I think just want to go out there and talk to Walker, calm him down a bit. He's throwing strikes.
Stetson Olsen, his first ever at-bat. Played the last 2 seasons for the University of Washington State, the Cougars. Only 5 at-bats for the big first baseman this season. Appeared in 11 games. A .200 average. So did not receive a lot of work in his collegiate season.
Well, he's got to be excited to have this opportunity here with the Dawgs, just recently arriving in Okotoks.
4 hits and 3 runs already, and nobody out in the bottom of the first inning. And Walker needs an out. And a good breaking ball this time, over for strike 2. Walker in his 2nd straight year with the Bulls. And Olsen, a swing and a miss, and there is the first out of the bottom of the first as Stetson Olsen strikes out swinging.
Well, that's going to help Chris Walker. A little bit of a tough start there. Get the coach come out, talk to him, settle him down a bit. And a good job with the breaking ball, being able to throw it for strikes through for a couple of strikes in that at bat.
Jared Bartnick, the right fielder, went 3 for 5 in the game versus Medicine Hat on Friday. Did not play in the victory over Swift Current on Sunday.
Well, this guy's known as a run producer, and he's got a couple of guys in scoring position right now.
Breaking ball in the dirt, and Joel Blake does very well to block it and prevent the 4th run of the inning from scoring.
Yeah, great work by Blake to get down on that one.
Blake, a versatile utility player who played professional baseball this winter in Australia for the Wanneroo Giants. Popped in the air, Rhodes in left field. Here comes Procession and a sacrifice fly and a run batted in for Jared Bartnick, and the Dawgs add to their lead. It's 4-0.
Well, with less than 2 outs, the idea there for Bartnick is find something that he can drive to the outfield. And he was able to do that. The wind really moved that one from where it looked like it had the potential to be a gap shot. And if the wind was going a different way, maybe it would be. But it hung up there long enough that Zach Rhodes could camp underneath it.
Austin Voros in his 3rd year. His first appearance of the season. He is the designated hitter. Ball 1 to Austin Voros. No stranger to these parts. He's from Vancouver, British Columbia. Had a dynamite university season at Texas A&M International, where he was a conference all-star in the Heartland Conference. And Voros fouls that away.
3rd year here with the Dawgs. So very familiar to the Okotoks area.
Voros last season with the Dawgs batted .287 with 13 runs batted in and 4 home runs. So he has some power from the left side. A 4-0 Okotoks lead early. Voros asked for time just in the nick of it, Cam.
It just got it. Felt Walker sat there long enough before throwing the ball.
Voros an impressive .333 average with 27 runs batted in at Texas A&M International this spring. Inside is the fastball. Evens the count at 1-1. Walker surrendering 4 runs on 4 hits. And an error contributed to the damage as well. Breaking ball over on the outside corner for strike 2.
Great pitch.
A second straight night in the league that the Bulls find themselves behind big in the bottom of the 1st. On the ground to Sawyer, to first and the inning. Not before the Dawgs in their home opener. Strike for 4, and they lead division rival Lethbridge 4-0 after 1. You're watching the Western Major Baseball League on Shaw. Here at Siemens Stadium in Okotoks, Alberta, Peter Loubardias along with Cam Moon and Dave Dawson. The Dawgs with 4 runs in their half of the 1st inning to take a 4-0 advantage. Is Jeremy Fagnan to lead it off, the first baseman for the Bulls in the top of the 2nd. Fagnan went 1 for 5 with a run batted in the loss last night in Medicine Hat, coming off a gigantic year at Midland College in Texas as he lines out to shortstop Thomas Rodriguez to start the 2nd.
May have broke his bat in the process. Didn't sound too good. May have just gone off the end of it. Didn't get as much of it as he would have liked for sure.
Dale Anderson is the designated hitter. Anderson actually played for the Bulls back in 2009. Has returned. He's 0 for his last 8. Went 0 for 4 at a rough night in Medicine Hat with 3 strikeouts, and Graham with a good breaking ball gets ahead of him early in the count.
Anderson, he had the hit for Seton Hall that sent them to the regionals in 2011.
Graham, another breaking ball, strike 3. Painted the corner beautifully.
Oh, well done by Graham.
Down to Dave Dawson.
Thanks, guys. As you know, all of Southern Alberta under tornado watch last night. The Lethbridge Bulls played in Medicine Hat. As Peter, you were there. They drove, unlike yourself, right through the storm back home, arriving back around midnight. Players said it was like a lightning storm and intense winds. The bus could only go to about 60 kilometers an hour for a good stretch of it. On the Okotoks side, players, as you know, are the grounds crew as well. We're out at about 9 a.m. cleaning up 14 massive puddles in the outfield, so we could have a game tonight. Peter?
Underwood flies out to the right fielder, Bartnick. A 1-2-3 inning for Alex Graham and the Dawgs. They'll come to bat in the bottom of the second when we return to Okotoks. We'd love you to chime in on Twitter. Join the conversation, won't you? Hashtag WMBL on Shaw is the place to join us. Any comments, any thoughts, we'd appreciate all of them, especially if they're nice regarding the announcing staff.
That's right.
That's where I'd like to begin.
Fire it up.
Thomas Rodriguez in the 9 spot in the order, the shortstop. Here's a cutie. Great crowd, has always been the case on opening night. Rodriguez from Pierrefonds, Quebec, a suburb of Montreal.
Out by the airport, I believe.
Yes, it is. And Rodriguez played his university ball at Niagara University, just outside of Buffalo. The shortstop. And Walker quickly ahead of him with 2 strikes. Rodriguez 3 for 13 on the season and make it 3 for 14 as he strikes out to lead off the bottom of the second.
Great bounce back for Chris Walker. A little bit of a tough start in that first inning. Some balls that found their way through his base hits, what have you. He shook that off, starts off this second with that strikeout. That's going to really help his confidence.
His second strikeout, Tyler Hollick, the Calgarian, singled and scored in the bottom of the first. And takes ball 1. Hollick third in the league, batting average wise in 2011, a .407 clip. Named just today as well, an All-American in junior college, where he played the past 2 seasons at Chandler Gilbert Community College in Chandler, Arizona.
It's got to be emotional for him here today. He's played for the Dawgs the last couple of years, and the likelihood that this could be his last game with the Dawgs. It's got to be a bittersweet moment in some ways.
Very likely the 19-year-old to sign his first professional contract in the next couple of days with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants drafted Hollick in the 14th round, and Hollick told me earlier today it was a tough day to sit through yesterday before the phone finally rang around 5:30. He thought he might go anywhere between round 3 and round 10 and ended up going in round 14.
Wonder how many times he hit the refresh button on the computer.
Can you imagine?
But it got to work out.
2-2 to Tyler Hollick, the left fielder, in what just might be his final game as a Dog. Pops up on the left-hand side, Wynn playing all kinds of havoc, and Bartel, the shortstop, over to handle it for out number 2.
It's going to be difficult for, well, especially the outfield, but at times the infield, when the ball is popped up, the wind is moving it quite a bit. Like that looked like that was going to go right to where the shortstop would be normally, and it landed up almost at third base.
Like Hollick, Chin singled and scored in the bottom of the first. As Walker most certainly does seem like he's in a much better frame and getting himself into a groove. How many times, though, Cam, do you see in this great sport where it can be so difficult for a starter to make his way through the first inning? And if he can, and I wouldn't say giving up 4 in the first is really making your way through it the way you'd like, but how many times in this game do they say, we need to get to him early if we're going to get to him.
Yeah, and good for him to battle back. And so far, it started off real solid here in this second inning. But, I mean, he was throwing strikes like you would want from him in the first.
Chin on the ground. Tough play for Sawyer. The long throw in time.
Nice play.
And Walker rebounds with a 1-2-3, bottom of the second. After 2, it remains Chin and the Dawgs for the Bulls. No score on Shaw. Tonight's trivia question: what year did the Dawgs begin playing in this great little community of Okotoks, Alberta? Tweet your answer. Again, the place to do so, hashtag Western Major Baseball League on Shaw.
Started in Calgary, moved here to Okotoks,
where they've won 3 Western Major Baseball League titles, 07, 08, and 09. Alex Graham, a surprise starter when the eligibility of the scheduled starter, left-hander Ryan Rogers, was questioned, and faces the center fielder Bretton Guthrow to start this top of the 3rd inning. Guthrow, a terrific year at Prairie Baseball Academy, one of the top hitters in the Canadian Baseball College Conference this spring. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Another strikeout, second of the game for Alex Graham, who's showing no ill effects of getting a late call to make his first start of this Western Major Baseball League season.
No, showing that poise that we expected to see. And through the breaking ball that was well blocked by Procession, and able to get Guthrow to go just far enough to get the call.
Kim Bartel in his second game since returning from LSU Shreveport. LSU Shreveport finished 3rd in the recently completed NIAI World Series. Actually, the #1 rated team going into that Division's World Series, but ended up in 3rd place. Bartel, a pretty good season there as well, batted over 300.
14 RBIs. Graduate of the Vauxhall Academy program.
No shortage of Canadians. And Bartel on board with a 1-out walk. The first free pass of the game issued by Alex Graham. And Zach Rhodes singled to lead off the top of the first, ended up being involved in a double play, a very heads-up play, in fact, from Thomas Rodriguez, the shortstop. Rhodes 9 hits already in just the 5th game of the season, as he upped that impressive .471 batting average to .500. He's now 9 out of 18 to begin the year.
Pretty good start.
2 for 4 last night in the game in Medicine Hat. And Rhodes will give Chin trouble, and that falls for a base hit and a force out. What I thought was going to be a force out, but the throw pulled the shortstop Rodriguez off the bag, and Bartel is safe at second.
So Rhodes had to muscle that one just past the infield. A good swing on it. Didn't get a lot of the ball, but they almost had the oh, that was awfully close.
Looked like it was going to be an out from here.
Did.
So runners at first and second for Fredericton's Corey Wood, and he pops it up. Does Procession have room? No, it's on the roof.
Take another peek at that play at second base, trying to get the force out. Oh. Lethbridge may have caught a break. Ryland Chin just turned and fired and put it right to the bag.
It certainly appeared to be an out from here. but the toe apparently didn't make it to the second base bag.
Must have cut his nails today.
Must have. Corey Wood grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the top of the first. Runners at first and second here in the third. Pulls that down the line, foul. Bartel at second. On a walk, and then what turns into the single and second hit of the game for Zach Rhodes has him at first base. Okotoks, 4-0 leaders, all four in the bottom of the first. And Wood just got a piece.
Graham's doing a good job of working all parts of the strike zone. He's worked it high, low, in, out, changing things up a lot. He's doing a very good job.
Works quickly, and a very, very good breaking ball from Alex Graham, the youngster from Vancouver. Here's the 1-2, and there's a good look at that aforementioned breaking ball for a strikeout of Corey Wood.
That's a tough pitch for Wood to handle. But that thing, that was your 12-6. Like, that thing started a foot and a half out of the strike zone and comes right through it. That's tough for Wood to make contact on that. He just got beat by a better pitch.
Joel Blake, on the topic of hot hitters, he's added to that 600 batting average that he came into, and he pulls this for his second hit of the game. Bartel gets waved, and he'll score, and the Bulls on the board, an RBI single for the catcher, Joel Blake.
Now that breaking ball hung up there a little bit. Right about belt high for Blake. He's able to wait on it, smack it into left, but that one just sat up there a little bit higher than Graham would have liked.
Blake on an absolute tear. The last two nights, he's 5 of his last 6. You really can't swing it any better than that as Sawyer fouls that back.
It's difficult to go into a game when you're hitting 600 and to see your average go up, but as it sits right now, it's going up.
Keaton Briscoe of the Saskatoon Yellow Jackets led the league in hitting at .623 entering tonight's play. That may have just sent Joel Blake into first place for average in the league hitting department. His 11th hit of the season. Jeremy Donaldson of the Regina Red Sox in 6 games has 12 hits to lead the league in that category.
It's a good start.
Yes, indeed. The Bulls on the board, thanks to that RBI single from Blake, and this guy can change a game in a hurry. Has a home run this season. 2 on for Jesse Sawyer. The fastball is high.
That's not a bad place to miss on an 0-2 count. Very often you'll have a guy with 2 strikes against him chase that high fastball. That's not a bad spot to throw that.
Sawyer now 0 for his last 8. Swing and a miss from Sawyer. Another strikeout for Graham. The Bulls with a couple of hits, and they're on the board. They trail it by 3 through 2.5. Siemens Stadium in Okotoks. The fans bundled up on a breezy, chilly evening as we revisit our trivia question. What year did the Dawgs begin playing in the town of Okotoks? Tweet your answer. Hashtag Western Major Baseball League on Shaw. There's the mascot. Diggity. That's fantastic.
Diggity.
Diggity dog. I like that a lot. The number 3, 4, and 5 batters in the lineup. In the bottom of the third, Zach Asman reached on an air to the shortstop, Kim Bartel. Really reached on a fielder's choice because Bartel only had one play, and at the end of the day, that could have been scored a base hit. It was deep in the hole, and Bartel would have had a very difficult play to throw Asman, a speedy base runner, out at first.
Yeah, it was his only option on that play was to go to 3. Although if he puts the throw on the chest of the third baseman, I think they get the out.
The play was there to be made.
Yeah.
Walker, a 1-2-3 second after a very difficult first, gets behind 3-0 to the leadoff batter Asman here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. There's a strike.
You don't want to make a habit of that against this Okotoks Dawgs club. If you're behind in the count a lot, they'll make you pay for it.
Asman with a homer already. Pulls this towards the left fielder. And Rhodes, the first out of the inning.
Well, it was a 3-1 count, and Asman found one exactly where he wanted it. They put a decent charge into the ball, but right to the left fielder, Zach Rhodes.
Jordan Procession, an RBI single. In the bottom of the 1st inning, part of a 4-run bottom of the 1st.
Where the first 4 batters of the Dawgs scored. Well, that's a tough start for Lethbridge, but they've settled things down, and Chris Walker, the pitcher, has settled things down, and they're right back in it.
Procession, a good twist. Fouls that back and tries to settle himself down.
This time working ahead.
Walker 0-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd.
Last time 0-2 went with high heat.
Going the other way, but foul is Procession. Procession very close to earning a spot with Canada's national junior baseball team. Was cut at the camp where the team went on to qualify for this year's World Junior Baseball Championships. Performed in tours in both Cuba and the Dominican Republic along the way. Did he go? Yes, he did. And a strikeout of Procession from Walker, who has settled down beautifully after a rough 1st inning.
Well, 0-2 count, able to get Procession to chase something a little off the plate, and you see what he just threw there?
I did.
Threw a knuckleball. Something to that effect. There wasn't a lot of spin on that ball.
No, there wasn't. Third baseman John Apostolo, the batter, and he fouls the first pitch out of play. Apostolo cashed in a pair in that 4-run bottom of the 1st with an RBI double. The product of New York, New York. In his 1st season as a Dog, but 2nd season in the Western Major Baseball League. And went around on that swing as Walker quickly ahead again. Here's the 0-2 to Apostolo.
Again, trying to get him to chase something out of the zone. In an 0-2 count, you can afford to make that pitch.
Apostolo thought about pulling the trigger, thought better of it, and the count even at 2-2 on Apostolo, who's batting 143 coming into the game. He's walked 4 times.
Now he's worked the count to full.
Among the league leaders in that category. Here's the 3-2, a swing and a miss, and Chris Walker, to his credit, settled down, has 4 strikeouts now. After 3, the Dawgs lead the Bulls by a count of 4-1. Second consecutive 1-2-3 inning for starting pitcher Chris Walker from Lake Havasu, Arizona.
Really finding his groove now.
Brandon Newell is the manager of the Okotoks Dawgs, and he's with our Dave Dawson.
Thanks, Peter. I guess, Brandon, are you happy with the way your team started? Obviously, a 4-run inning. You got to be happy with that at the beginning.
We found a few barrels in the first inning. Alex has kind of settled in. This is the first time he's pitched in front of a crowd like this in his life. So he's off to a good start. Maybe we can get one or two more out of Alex and then turn it over to our bullpen.
What kind of adjustments have they made that I guess the onslaught has kind of slowed down a little bit for you?
I just think that a lot of times in front of a big crowd, your adrenaline's going and you're really honed in, and we got to get that energy back here to finish this game.
Quick comment on Tyler Hollick, a big day for him. What does he mean to this organization?
He's kind of our poster child. You know, he's a kid that's came a long ways. He's been with us since he was 13 years old, and he deserves everything that he gets. He's a really easy kid to root for.
All right, thanks for doing this, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Peter?
Tyler Hollick, in case you just joined us, drafted yesterday in the the Major League Baseball draft in the 14th round by the San Francisco Giants. The 19-year-old from Calgary. Brandon Newell just spoke so glowingly about what he called his baseball IQ.
Smart on the base pass, gets a good jump on the ball, playing defensively, a smart hitter. Just everything about Tyler Hollick's game is above average when it comes to his intelligence, and that's what makes him such a valuable player.
Jeremy Fagnan, a pretty good hitter. He's from Calgary as well. He tore it up at Midland College in Texas. Batted .403 with 49 RBIs. 10 home runs, a .491 on-base percentage.
That's as a freshman.
That's as a freshman. Pulls this foul. Lined out to the shortstop for the first out of the top of the second inning. Did Fagnan. That's a good swing. Hands back, but on the ground to Ryland Chin. And Alex Graham quickly has the first out of this top of the fourth inning.
Well, Graham with the curveball there that was out to the outer half of the plate. And for Fagnan, he's just got enough of it to put it in play, but didn't get much of it. Rolled over on the curveball. And a good put out by Ryland Chin.
Dale Anderson, the designated hitter from Strathmore, Alberta. Played his college baseball at Seton Hall University in West Orange, New Jersey. Apostolo, the third baseman. And Anderson is retired for the second out of the inning.
Well, Graham again. Going to keep guys a little bit off. Same thing with that one. Getting a guy to roll over on the ball. As Underwood didn't get much of it. No problem for Apostolo to throw him out.
Brings to the plate Joey Underwood. Underwood came into the game batting .400. Did not participate in the game last night in the loss in Medicine Hat. Played shortstop the first 3 games, at second base tonight. Apostolo handles a second straight batter, and Stetson Olsen with a good play at first. 1, 2, 3. The Bulls go down in the fourth. They trail Okotoks 4-1. (5-1) heading to the top of the fifth. What year did the Dawgs begin playing in the town of Okotoks? Tweet your answer with hashtag Western Major Baseball League on Shaw.
It was right after they built this beautiful building. Doc Siemens' family donating a lot of money towards this incredible facility.
Alex Graham facing the leadoff hitter, center fielder Breton Guthrow. Guthrow, a former Okotoks Dawg, played in 20 games here with the Dawgs last season. Second in average and second in hits at Prairie Baseball Academy in the regular season. of the Canadian College Baseball Conference this spring. Might be the last inning of work for Graham, who's been terrific, has given up 4 hits in 4 innings of work and just the 1 run. Trent Wilson is warming up in the Dawgs bullpen.
With a cold night like this, I can't see anybody really stretching it out as far as pitching goes. Probably going to keep them all at a pretty reasonable pitch count level.
On the ground to Ryland Chin. And plenty of time to get the center fielder Guthrow to start this top half of the 5th inning.
Well, Alex Graham's done a great job of inducing ground balls. The last 4 outs for Lethbridge have all been ground ball outs. Trying to keep that ball down in the zone if he can and get as many ground balls as he can.
Facing Kim Bartel, the shortstop. Bartel walked and scored in the 3rd inning. His 2nd year with the Lethbridge Bulls. A freshman at LSU Shreveport, batted .326 there this spring. Helping LSU Shreveport to a 3rd place finish at the NAIA World Series. Takes strike 3. Another strikeout for Alex Graham, his 4th of the game. And according to my terrific color analyst, he's debating 4 with a 5, and I'll take his word for it. Zach Rhodes, not only has he not struck out the left fielder, he's 2 for 2 in the game. One of the league leaders in hits and average. This is a pretty good hitting Lethbridge team. Pitching and errors have really caused this group trouble in their last 2 games and again tonight.
Their top 3 guys, the top 3 in the order that is, and Rhodes, Wood, and Blake are a real handful to get out.
Graham just misses inside.
You see, Graham doesn't want to give too much of that plate to Rhodes on this one.
3 balls and 1 strike. The left fielder gives chase, and he'll run out of real estate as Hollick came over. But the youngsters in the berm have a souvenir.
It's a good day. Come to the ball game. You know, maybe a hot dog, maybe some peanuts, and you go home with a baseball.
Rhodes with 7 home runs last season. He was tied for 5th in that category. 13 doubles amongst the league leaders, and off to another fantastic start. Now 10 for 19 early in the season. Not here though. So that's strikeout number 6. Alex Graham has been excellent, and he's helped his team stake a 5-1 lead.